All right, hey guys, this is our lesson for today. It's on simplifying radical expressions. And you've seen this stuff before, you know what we're going to be working on. But I'm going to take it a little bit further. So we've got number one here. Number one is the square root of 16. Square root means you're looking for the number times itself that equals 16. So what number times itself equals the number 16? Well, that is 4. 4 times 4 is 16, right? So then we go down to number 2. You've got this. Number 2, square root of 25 is 5, all right? Now, those are the easy ones. The harder one is next, all right? We've got the square root of 18. Now, we don't know the square root of 18, and I do not, absolutely, positively do not want you to use a calculator for this, because once you use a calculator, then you are going to get an answer that you have to round, and then once you round it, it's no longer correct. It's no longer the exact answer, because you've now rounded, okay? So we want to make this, or basically turn this problem into an easier problem to do by simplifying it, okay? So what I want you to think about is what two numbers multiply together to give you 18, all right? And I want one of those numbers to be something you can do the square root of. So square root of 18, let's see, what are perfect squares less than 18 that might go into 18? So 16. 16, you know, square root of 16 from number 1 is 4, right? Does 16 go into 18 evenly? No. Okay, so how about 9? Does 9 go into 18 evenly? It sure does, right? That can be the square root of 9 times, there's a dot, I need a dot there, times the square root of 2, right? Square root of 9 times the square root of 2 equals, well, what? Well, we can do the square root of 9. Correct? Square root of 9, we've got that. Square root of 9 is 3. So this is going to equal 3 times the square root of 2. And now that one's done. We simplified it. How good for us, right? So let's move on to number 4, because I want to make sure that we practice this a couple times here. So I want to break 24 up into two numbers that I can do the square root of, or in two numbers, one of which I can do the square root of. Now, 16 doesn't go into 24, 9 doesn't go into 24, but 4 goes into 24, right? You could do the square root of 4 times the square root of 6, right? Now, the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 6, I can't break that down any further, so we're done. So now I've simplified that. I've got the square root of 6, or 2 times the square root of 6. And now I've simplified those problems, which is pretty wicked awesome, right? So now we're going to go a little bit further, and I think I might skip number 5 and have you just kind of do that one. All right? But I want to move on because I don't want this video to be too long. Let's go on to number 6. Number 6, I'm doing the square root of x squared. So now I want what number times itself, or what version of x times itself gives you x squared. So the square root of x squared is really, you're taking that exponent and dividing it by 2, right? Because x times x is x squared. So the square root of x squared is simply just x. And that's your answer. So when you move on to number 7, you want to take this exponent of 6, and really you're dividing it by 2. So let's make that happen. So x to the 6th power, the square root of it is x to the 3rd power, right? Because x cubed times x cubed will be x squared, right? Now we're going to move on to number 8. Number 8 is a little bit more tricky. We have to multiply this out. And when you're multiplying, we go straight for it, right? So we've got the 5 out here. Oops, need my pen back. Got your 5. And you want to do the square root of 3c times the square root of 6c. So we have to do 3 times 6, which is 18. And then c times c, which is c squared, right? Well, now we can break this down. 5 times, well, the square root of 18, I need I can do the square root of 9 times the square root of 2 times, and I can do, that's a 2, not an a, square root of c squared. So the square root of c squared is c. The square root of 2, I can't really do anything with that. That's going to stay as it is. I have the 5 out here, times square root of 9 is 3, and then c squared is c. So now to finish this up, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Finish this up, I have to do the 5 times the 3, which is 15. The c is going to stay, and the square root of 2 is going to stay. Okay? So I've created these problems for you as an example of how to do today's assignment, which you can see in this Google Classroom section right here. Go look for it. If you can't see it, that's right there. It's in Google Classroom. All right, guys, I hope that helps. Follow these examples as you do the assignments that I've put up below. Talk to you guys later.